Welcome back to ARC Tutorials. This is SQL Top 95 Interview Question and Answer Series with detailed code snippets. I can guarantee you that if you go through these 95 interview question and answers, you will crack that dream job where you are attending for SQL. I'll be covering this in 4 parts, and this is the first part of the series. I will be going in detail. The links will be in the description below. You can download this entire PDF for free ebook at arctutorials.gumroad.com. I want you to learn. I want you to crack that interview. With that being said, I wish you all the best. Let's get started with the part 1. The first and the foremost question: what is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's a standard language used for manipulating and managing relational databases. SQL allows us to define and manipulate and query the data stored in databases. And when we say SQL, that's for RDBMS, that stands for Relational Database Management Systems, like Oracle, Sybase, MySQL, etc. What are the different types of SQL statements? There are mainly 3 types of SQL statements. Data definition language, which is used to define and modify the structure of the database objects. These include create, alter, drop. The next is data manipulation language, also called as DML, which is used for manipulating and querying data within database objects. This will include select statement, insert, update, delete. There is also third one called data control language, which is used for control access and permissions on database objects. These includes grant statement, revoke statement. So whenever you are asked about the different types of SQL statements, remember there are 3 types of SQL statements: data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language. The next is, what is a primary key? A primary key is a column or a set of columns that uniquely identify each record in a table. It ensures data integrity and provides a way to uniquely identify records for referencing in other tables. Remember, whenever a table is designed, it should have at least one primary key. It's not a standard, it's not a fixed thing, but it's encouraged because you can uniquely identify records in that particular table. If you are building anything serious, you must have a primary key in the table. That's a unique value so that the record can be uniquely identified. And that is because we need to do operations based on that particular key. The next is, what is foreign key? A foreign key is a column or a set of columns in a table that refers to the primary key of another table. We are talking about RDBMS, that means Relational Database Systems. There has to be some relation between 2 tables in order to get the joint data. Here in the table, if you look, create or table order has a primary key called order ID, and it is referencing a foreign key in customers table where we have the customer ID as the primary key. So that is a foreign key in this particular table. That's why we are writing foreign key customer ID references customers customer ID, right? So you are adding a customer ID column in this table, which will be referencing the table customers and its column customer ID. The next is, what is the difference between char and varchar data types in SQL? In SQL, char is a fixed length character data type, while varchar is a variable length character data type. Char data type always uses the fixed length, padding the remaining spaces with spaces, while varchar only uses the necessary amount of storage based on the actual data length. Let me give you an example. If you have a field called, let's say, email address, and you make it character as 50, it will always occupy 50. The length will always be 50, right? Even if you enter an email with, say, 6 or 7 characters, it will still occupy the remaining 43. Whereas varchar, if you enter a email address with say 10, the remaining it would leave and release it back to memory. And hence, whenever you're defining fields, we prefer to use varchar mostly. What is the difference between inner join and left join in SQL? Inner join returns only the matching rows from both tables based on the specified join condition. So when you're running a query and trying to use inner join to join two tables, it will return only the matching rows from both the tables. Left join will return all the rows from the left table, left side of the join, and the matching rows from the right side. If no match is found, null values are returned for the right table's columns. What is a view in SQL? A view is a virtual table derived from one or more tables or other views. It is a saved SQL query that can be treated as a table. Views provide a way to simplify complex queries, restrict data access, and provide an additional layer of security. You can also say that a view is nothing but a virtual snapshot of a table at any given point of time. How can you add a new column to an existing table in SQL? To add a new column, we will use the alter statement. We will write alter table followed by the table name followed by add or delete or whatever keyword you want to. In this case, we are adding a column. So we are saying alter table name, add new column which is phone and its data type varchar, and I'm saying 15 is the length. So that's how you can add a new column to an existing table using the alter statement. How can you retrieve all records from a table in SQL? You can retrieve all records from a table using the select statement without any condition. You can just run a wildcard, which is wild character, select star from customers, means return all the records from the table customers. What is the purpose of group by clause in SQL? The group by clause is used to group rows based on one or more columns in the table. It is typically used with aggregate functions like count, sum, average, etc. to perform some kind of calculations. Now if you look here, select country, count star as total customers from customers group by country. So the output is we are telling that group the data by country and then do this operation, which is count star. So remember, whenever you use group by, you will always use it with some aggregate functions like count, sum, or average to derive some data. How can you sort the result set in SQL? You can sort it by mentioning order by clause. You can mention it like this: select star from customers, order by customer name, and the order. It can be either ascending or it can be descending. What is the purpose of the having clause in SQL? The having clause is used in conjunction with the group by clause to filter the result set based on a condition applied to aggregate data. Now look, take an example here that we did in previously also. Select country, comma, count star as total customers from customers group by country, and now we are putting a condition, right, and we are applying it saying that having count is greater than 5. So it will try to group the data by country by, it will first group by country and then check if that customers are more than 5, then give the count. That's what this particular query would return us. How can you update data in a table in SQL? You can update data in the table using the update statement with the set keyword. You will write update table name, set is the keyword, and then followed by the column name, the new value, and the where condition to identify that particular record or one or more records. Now here we are saying update the customers table, set email address equal to new email, where customer ID is equal to 1. So we are updating the email address for the customer whose ID is 1. What is the purpose of distinct keyword in SQL? The distinct keyword is used to derive unique values from a column in a result set. It basically eliminates the duplicate rows and returns only unique or distinct values, right? Now remember, distinct is used to derive all the unique values from a column. So there will be no repetition of the data. Now if you say select distinct country from customers, it will fetch you all the unique values from that particular table for that column. How can you delete records from a table in SQL? You can delete the records from a table using the delete statement with the where clause. You can specify the condition in the where clause. You can say delete from table, that is customers, delete from customers, where customer ID is equal to 1. So it will be deleting the first customer whose ID is 1. You can also give multiple condition. You can say delete from customers where, say, country is equal to, say, XYZ, or whatever you want condition you have, right? So that's the clause. You can build a where clause, a complex one if you want, but the statement will still be same, which is delete from table. What is the purpose of between operator in SQL? The between operator is used to filter a result set based on a range of values. It allows you to specify a range between two values. You can say select star from table, where order date between the first start value and the end value. So you can specify two values, the start and the end, and it would bring you the filtered records based on that. You can say select star from employees, where certain condition, country equal to India, and their salary between X and Y, right? So we can build that query based on the start and the end value. How can you calculate the average value of a column, right? So previously also I showed you, there is a built-in method that we can use, aggregate function, which is AVG, which stands for average. Similarly, we have other aggregate functions like count, max, min, etc. So to calculate the average, you will write select average, the field name as average price from products. What is a subquery in SQL? A subquery is a query embedded within another query, right? So it is used to retrieve data from one table based on the result of another query. So always remember, subqueries will be executed first. Their result will be given to the parent query. So in this case, first it will execute select category ID from categories, where category name equal to XYZ, and then that result will be run against the outer query or the parent query, right? So subqueries are always nested inside the parent query. The result is taken and compared in the where condition. How can you count the number of records in a table in SQL? You can count the number of records using an aggregate function, count. Similarly, like I mentioned, there are other aggregate functions like average, max, min. What is the purpose of null value in SQL? Null represents an absence of data in a column. It is used when a value is unknown, missing, or not applicable. So in your where condition, you can put that condition and say where is null or is not null operators to check if a certain value is null or not. What is the difference between union and union all in SQL? Union combines the result set of two or more select statements, removing duplicate rows. Union all will also combine the result set of two or more select statements, but includes all rows including duplicates. When you use the union, it will automatically remove the duplicate records matching, whereas union all will get you all the data without any filtering. That's the main difference between union and union all. What is the purpose of the like operator in SQL? The like operator is used to search for a specified pattern in a column. It is commonly used with the wildcard characters or %sign and underscore. Now here take a look. You're saying select star from customers where customer name like starting with A. So you're telling get me all the customers whose name starts with A and whatever comes after that. So it will get you all the customers matching that particular pattern basically. How can you calculate the maximum value of a column in SQL? So like I mentioned you earlier also, we can use an aggregate function by the name max. So here it would give you the maximum price from the product, whichever product has the maximum price. So you can use the max method. Similarly, on the same lines, you can use minimum also. If you are asked how do you get a minimum value, you will write min instead of max. What is a self join in SQL? A self join is a join operation where a table is joined with itself. It is useful when we want to combine rows from a table based on a related column within the same table. Take an example here. Here I am joining the same table customers with itself. So this is a self example of a self join. So you have select c1 dot customer name, c2 dot customer name. From the table name is same customers, but I'm using a alias which is c1 for it. And same table again customers, but the alias is c2. So here you are joining based on two columns, right? But from the same table. So this is an example of self join in SQL. What is the purpose of in operator in SQL? The in operator is used to check if a value matches any value in a list or subquery. It's a shorthand way of using multiple OR conditions. So take a look example here. You're writing select star from customers where country in USA, UK or Canada. So it will fetch you all the customers who are in any of these. It's a OR condition. So it will get you all customers who are in USA, UK and Canada. Alright, so that is for the part 1. I hope you are keeping up the pace. I hope you are preparing well. Please go back, refer, go through the examples that I've given. Make sure that you're comfortable. If you have any queries, any doubts, write to me in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. You can get this free book entirely at rtutorials.gumroad.com. Thank you so much for joining in this episode. Let's continue our learning in the next episode, part 2. Keep learning, keep growing. Thank you so much.